Hi, my name is Anne, and over the next little while I'll be bringing um, a series of evening reflections. Last Sunday, Stephen Baxter from the Tasmanian Baptist Union encouraged those who put their trust and hope in God to be havens of hope for the communities in which they live. And my hope and prayer is that these evening reflections will be an encouragement to you to put your trust in God and to be hope for where you live. So today I want to think about a sand picture. As most of you may know, a sand picture has its frame, and between the two panes of glass within it are particles of black sand and white sand. And when the picture is stationary, the sand is settled and it forms a lovely landscape of sand where the dark and the light just look beautiful together. But if you upend the frame, that picture disappears. That beautiful picture disappears. And it seems to me that just at the moment, our lives are going through something similar. We've been upended. The kind of lifestyle we've been used to just that has gone. We can't go out in social gatherings of more than two people. We can only drive to and from work, and that's it. We can only go out for essentials, and even when we do that, we can find that there's not what we want to get on the supermarket shelves. And it's quite different, isn't it? So um, that lovely lifestyle we've had has gone, like in the sand picture. There's uncertainty, there's heartache, there are new anxieties and worries. What's life going to be like? What is this new reality? When are things going to settle down again? But the thing about the sand picture is that things do settle. The sand does settle. And when it does, what we see is a different but just as stunningly beautiful picture. We will see the dark mountains and the valleys of shadow, but we will see the highlights of light and the white sand forming into these beautiful contours. So it seems to me that the other thing about the sand picture is the frame, which holds everything and keeps it all just in that frame. And I think of God's love and faithfulness like that. Our lives can be upended. We can be in a state of flux, everything mixed up, and we can't see what's going to happen from one day to the next, where we can be feeling deep heartache and lots of worry and anxiety and stress. But within all of that, God is faithful, and his faithfulness and his love don't change like the frame. It's constant. And I just would like to encourage you to hold on to that, because with time, what we're going through will settle. And we will, as I know I have done in previous times in my life, looked back. And I've seen those times and I've remembered those times that have been really hard yakka, where I was hurting or I was sick and I didn't know how I was going to get through what I was going through. And in all of that, what I've found is there have been these beautiful times of encouragement from God, from the people who love me. And I would encourage you, you may be going through a really tough time, but there will be some good things that are in that time. I hope and I pray that you will receive a phone call from somebody who loves you deeply, who cares enough to say, I want to help. I want to give you something practical to get you through this. Or you might get some help and some support in other ways that help you to make the ends meet and just tide you over. But the other thing I find is too that even when you're at your lowest, all of a sudden something will happen and you just can't help but see the funny side and have a good laugh. And there's just these little gems, these little rays of light, these little particles of white sand, if you like, that intersperse the dark. And as you look back, you'll see another beautiful picture that God has made of your life. So what I'd like to do is just finish with some words from the Bible, from the book of Isaiah, chapter 54, verse 10. And Isaiah, when he wrote these, wouldn't have had COVID-19 in his thoughts. I doubt that he would have had a sand picture in mind either, but it seems to me that these words are appropriate for this time, and whether it's to do with coronavirus or whether it's to do with other things that are going on in your life at the moment, I think they can apply. And it says this: even if the mountains were to crumble, a bit like those mountains in the sand picture, and the hills disappear, my heart of steadfast, faithful love will never leave you, and my covenant of peace with you will never be shaken, says God, whose love and compassion will never give up on you. So as I end today's reflection, my prayer is that you will find these words to be true for you, that you can hold on to these. God says, my heart of steadfast, faithful love will never leave you, and my covenant of peace will never be shaken. His love and his compassion is always there for you. So be encouraged.